to the track. This might be the race of the night. Everyone looking forward to seeing what Sydney will do.
Megan Tapper there in lane 1, certainly popular from Jamaica, but not Sid popular.
This is Tia Jones. She's making her 3rd appearance as a Grand Slam challenger. 12:19. She was just off the American record only because she finished 2nd in Miami. Great race.
Itaji Kambuji here from Switzerland. Her sister had to finish her season. She just announced she's pregnant. She needs her pediatrician. She wouldn't come over because she couldn't fly.
And here she is. The queen of the oval, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, has dropped down to the women's short hurdle. She's running the 100 hurdles and the 100. Everybody's waiting to see what she'll do here.
Kira Nugent's been 3rd and 4th in the hurdle races and then has blistered the open 100. See what she's got. Her day, you know, she'll be counted on the next day to figure out how this goes.
Yeah, the 2 Jamaicans side by side. Daniel Williams won the Slam in Kingston. Nugent won in Miami. What will they do here?
Tania Marshall, part of Dennis Shaver's sprint crew down there in LSU. He just finds fast women all the time. They never let up.
Yeah, and they said that she looked really, really good in warm-ups. This is Christina Clemens. She's making her Grand Slam debut. She's an Olympic semifinalist and a world indoor silver medalist back in 2018.
And if you're
this is it, the moment we've been waiting for.
If you're wondering how this goes, 12:61, the facility record for 11 for 11 clean sweep. Steve Cram.
Sydney gets out. 100-meter hurdles. Nugent has got away quickly. Also going well. Tia Jones over the far side. It's Nugent just leading this one at the moment. Nugent's got this. Akira Nugent continues to go away. Wins it easily in the end. 12:44. Sydney just not on terms in an event we wouldn't necessarily expect it to be. Tia Jones did hang on for 2nd place after getting out sharp, but Nugent staffed her authority all over that race there. Got out well. Was up with Jones, who we know can get out quickly. So does Tapper as well. But then she just continued to move away from there. Sydney 5th. Great athletes like a challenge.
I'd rather see her challenge herself, man, if I'm being honest. We know what she can do with the 4 hurdles. We've seen it for years. She's constantly racing the clock. I'd like to see her race people, and she did it. I think she has a desire to do that as well. You know, you got to be able to do things to keep the heat under you. I think she realizes that. She actually got out decently. Having Akira right next to her, though, when you're next to that kind of cadence, it can actually throw you off, because this is something that she doesn't necessarily feel all the time. She's on a stagger usually and doesn't always have athletes right next to her. So that's new for her. And to see someone 3-stepping that quickly right next to you,
yeah,
it's not that simple to run next to.
I mean, technically, she's only raced this twice, I think, since 2021.
Yeah.
So, you know, and until you get in the mix with the fast people, it's all right in training and everything, but, you know, she did pretty well there. She's beaten some good athletes.
Grand Slam day 2, go through the lane assignments. After being in lane 1 for the first race, Anna Hall gets a really big head start this time around out there in lane 8.
Yeah, I like her in lane 8. She can open up those big strides and really see what she can do. This is Andranette Knight of Jamaica. She was 2nd to Sid in the 400 hurdles, has run on 4x4 teams for Jamaica, so she is familiar with running good 400s.
And there's Shamir Little, who just missed out on the Olympic team, got gold in the 4x4. Some people thought because she tried to qualify in the 400 and the hurdles, maybe cost her.
And here is the woman that a lot of people, one of the greatest athletes on the track. She's 3 times a world record holder over 400-meter hurdles, and she really wants to do special things in the 400 as well, John. So I think this gives her the opportunity to get the practice that it takes to be great at 400 meters as well.
As we said, she's the 2nd fastest American ever in the flat 400 behind Sonia Richards-Ross. In there to lane 2, we've got Sarah Carley, twice an Olympian for Australia. She was 5th over the hurdles in the opening race here of their series, their 2 events.
And rounding out the field, Cassandra Tate, now 34 years old, has been a staple of part of the 400 hurdles for a really long time. Tough lane draw for her, but she has a lot of experience.
That's a tight curve for everybody when they got to go around. Once around, no hurdles. I figure what? Give us 50 seconds. It'll be the best 50 seconds of your day.
Up Bit of a long hold there, but they're away safely. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone moving up on Shamir Little, already out on the outside. We're watching for this battle for second place perhaps, and Anna Hall has started quickly down the back straight. Shamir Little now really moving up on Adrianette Knight as well. So Little's really getting into this. Sydney's got somebody to work off here, chasing Shamir Little, perhaps holding her through that first 200 metres. Maybe a little bit breezy down the back straight, and now the stagger starts to unwind. Anna Hall on the outside in 8. Right there with Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, but when they come into the home straight, that's going to turn into a 3, 4, 5 metre lead. And away she goes now. The speed and the strength and the poise. Gliding down the home straight. Others are fighting behind her. Hall's trying to hang on ahead of Adrianette Knight. It's going to be Sydney to take it, 49.7. And Anna Hall gets second place. The gap here was small, whereas in the 400-metre hurdles, Adrianette Knight had 3.5 tenths, which is more like sort of 3 meters or so. Here, look at the gap. Hall fought hard. There's Sydney away, closest to the camera. Hall outleans, outdips Adrianette Knight, but the gap not big enough. This time, it was only 0.12 of a second, so it means the Jamaican will take second place.
I think Sydney looked pretty comfortable the entire way. 49.69 like that. I mean, that's something that she can feel happy about. What I like about Sydney is that the running position that she sets up in is very, very good. Very good range to the back, very good range to the front. Hips right in front of her. Very stable. You can do a lot of things with that type of running form. And she does do a lot of things with that kind of running form.
There's the champ, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, and Sonia, every time I see, it's like you really want to see somebody push her and get a good race.
A bit of a long hold there, but they're away safely. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone moving up on Shamir Little, already out on the outside. We're watching for this battle for second place perhaps, and Anna Hall has started quickly down the back straight. Shamir Little now really moving up on Adrianette Knight as well. So Little's really getting into this. Sydney's got somebody to work off here, chasing Shamir Little, perhaps holding her through that first 200 metres. Maybe a little bit breezy down the back straight, and now the stagger starts to unwind. Anna Hall on the outside in 8. Right there with Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, but when they come into the home straight, that's going to turn into a 3, 4, 5 metre lead. And away she goes now. The speed and the strength and the poise. Gliding down the home straight. Others are fighting behind her. Hall's trying to hang on ahead of Adrianette Knight. It's going to be Sydney to take it. 5, which would be a shame. She's been a brilliant athlete her whole career, and would be, or is enjoying being part of Grand Slam. Sian Salmon, decent draw for her in 7 years. She was 6th in the hurdle event. Just need to judge this right, the athletes. I think Sydney will certainly be able to do that. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, done this so many times, such a great exponent over all the sprints, never mind with there's hurdles in the way. Rochelle Clayton, 32-year-old Jamaican, has run a flat 400 already this year, in a fairly swift 52.3 thereabouts, not too far off that personal best you can see in the caption. Adrianette Knight, her teammates, similarly indoors for her though, 52.8. Normally you run quicker outdoors than indoors. So this is Peters of the Netherlands, a big part of the Dutch very successful 4x4 and mixed 4x4 squad that does so well at Olympics and Worlds. And then Cassandra Tate of the USA on the inside. Just might find the others moving away from her here, particularly I think with Peters in the lane 3. Just got held a little bit longer by the starter there, but they're away and gone. McLaughlin-Levrone already making ground, and we've just had a pull-up from Rochelle Clayton, who's pulled up in the first 100 meters, maybe trying to hang on to the American, who knows. Going very quickly, Cassandra Tate right on the inside has started exceptionally quickly through the first 200 meters, but it's McLaughlin-Levrone out in lane 6, smoothly making their way around the top end. Cassandra Tate Ide on the inside has run an excellent first 300, but is she going to pay for that as they come into the wind in the home straight? Sydney out on her own as we expected it to be. Then it's going to be a real scrap for the minor places behind her. Tate is just starting to tread water in the home straight there, but it's Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone who's going to come through to make it 2 wins in the women's long hurdles. It's 50.32. Knight just took second place. It was tough out there. The wind was never going to make that easy, but the victory was never really in doubt. It was just a case of how quick and by how far. Well, the answer was almost 2 seconds, which in the 400 meters is a long, long way. It has to be said, though, that Knight has run her season's best, and Dalila Muhammad in the 52-second mark. So there's our winner. There's our slam winner, our final slam winner of the first Grand Slam track. As we said, if you're going to run that quick for 400 hurdles, of course you can run quick on the flat.
Yeah, being able to run 48 seconds in the flat 4 as a 4 hurdler is unheard of. She ran 22 seconds into a headwind in the 200 last season. So speed-wise, she's not even comparable to some of these women out here. So I think she may even surprise us later on in the year and say, look, I'm going to go to the World Championships to run the 4.
Or maybe the 800.
I don't know about that.
I would love to see her run an 800 or 2, but I don't know if she wants to.
But I mean, really, just going through the motions here and just securing the money, you know, it's an easy 400,000 for her if she goes through all 4 and dominates the way she's doing. But if she wants to really test herself and test some of the other competitors and show what she can do in other events, she's gonna jump in that long sprints and go against some of those other women in that 4 and that deuce.
Well, MJ enjoyed it. You may hear the party's already started here in the stadium. There was a big win that Cassandra Tate went through the first 300 meters. She must have only been about 4 or 5 meters behind her, but look where she finished in the end.
The women's sprint and hurdle events produced one of the most fascinating storylines of the season, not because every favorite won, but because the races demonstrated how different disciplines reward completely different strengths. Pure sprinting, sprint hurdles, and long hurdles each demand unique technical qualities, and the athletes who mastered those demands separated themselves in spectacular fashion. The biggest attraction entering the meeting was Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. Although universally recognized as the greatest 400-meter hurdler of her generation, every appearance outside her primary event generates enormous attention. Her combination of speed, efficiency, and world record credentials makes every race worth watching. However, the 100-meter hurdles represent one of the most technically unforgiving events in athletics. Athletes have barely 13 seconds to accelerate, establish rhythm, clear 10 hurdles without interruption, and maintain maximum velocity until the finish. A single hesitation or slightly inefficient hurdle clearance can completely change the outcome. From the gun, Jamaica's Akira Nugent executed almost the perfect race. Her reaction time immediately placed her among the leaders, but what truly separated her was the consistency between each hurdle. Instead of attacking the barriers aggressively and risking mistakes, Nugent maintained exceptional balance while preserving her sprint mechanics. Her lead leg snapped down quickly, her trail leg recovered efficiently, and she lost virtually no momentum through every hurdle. As the race progressed, Nugent continued increasing her advantage rather than simply defending it. That is often the mark of an elite hurdler. Many athletes start fast before fading over the final barriers, but Nugent maintained both rhythm and frequency throughout the race. Her technique remained compact, allowing her to continue accelerating when others began tightening up. Behind her stood one of the deepest fields assembled this season. Olympic medalist Megan Tapper attempted to stay within striking distance through the middle section, while American Tia Jones relied on her trademark early speed. World champion Danielle Williams used her experience to remain competitive over the closing hurdles, and Christina Clemens fought hard from start to finish. Despite the quality surrounding her, Nugent never looked under serious pressure. Instead, she controlled the race from the opening meters and confirmed that her recent improvements are translating onto the biggest stages. For Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, the result should be viewed within proper context. Her dominance has been built almost entirely over the 400-meter hurdles, where race management, endurance, stride pattern, and sustained speed become decisive. The 100-meter hurdles require a completely different rhythm. There's almost no time to recover from even the smallest technical imperfection. Competing against specialists who dedicate every training session to mastering that rhythm is an entirely different challenge. Even so, McLaughlin-Levrone once again demonstrated why she remains one of the most versatile athletes in world athletics. Her flat speed remains exceptional, her hurdle technique is among the cleanest in the sport, and her willingness to challenge herself in different events continues to earn admiration throughout the athletics community. While this race belonged to Nugent, McLaughlin-Levrone's participation added another layer of excitement and highlighted just how specialized elite hurdling has become. If the hurdles delivered an upset, the women's 100 meters produced almost the opposite narrative. Shericka Jackson entered the race, carrying the expectations of being one of the fastest women in history, and she performed exactly like an athlete accustomed to winning on the biggest stages. From the blocks, Jackson displayed one of the strongest acceleration phases in the field. Her transition from the drive phase into upright sprinting was remarkably smooth, allowing her to reach top speed without unnecessary movement. Unlike many sprinters who begin tightening their shoulders under pressure, Jackson remained relaxed throughout the race. That relaxation translated into longer, more efficient strides and superior speed maintenance over the final 30 meters. The field itself featured enormous talent. Elaine Thompson-Herah brought unmatched championship experience as one of the greatest Olympic sprinters ever. Brianna Williams represented the next generation of Jamaican sprinting, possessing explosive acceleration capable of challenging anyone over the first half of the race. Young star Alana Reid continued gaining valuable experience against world-class opposition, showing flashes of the talent that has made her one of Jamaica's brightest prospects, yet none of them could consistently match Jackson once she entered maximum velocity. Her top-end speed remains among the very best in the world, but perhaps even more impressive is how efficiently she maintains it. While many athletes naturally decelerate during the closing stages, Jackson minimizes that loss better than almost anyone competing today. The result was another commanding victory built not on one spectacular moment, but on complete technical execution from start to finish. Comparing these two races reveals an important truth about modern women's athletics. Success is no longer determined solely by raw speed. Technical precision, race execution, tactical awareness, and event-specific preparation separate champions from finalists. Akira Nugent proved that flawless hurdling mechanics can overcome even the biggest names in the sport. Shericka Jackson demonstrated that sustained technical excellence continues to define elite sprinting. And Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone reminded everyone why athletes capable of competing across multiple disciplines remain exceptionally rare. Together, these performances showcase the incredible depth currently defining women's athletics. Established champions continue setting remarkably high standards, while emerging stars are increasingly capable of challenging that hierarchy. Whether through Nugent's breakthrough victory, Jackson's commanding sprint performance, or McLaughlin-Levrone's willingness to test herself against the world's best, these races reinforce that every major competition now offers the potential for either dominant excellence or career-defining breakthroughs. That combination is exactly what continues making women's sprinting and hurdling among the most exciting events in global track and field.